You know, you'll be hard pressed to find somebody whose name has been linked to other fighters as much as Tszyu. Maybe a Ryan Garcia or a Devin Haney, but besides those two guys, Tszyu name has been rumored to first be getting in the ring, perhaps with Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz, after he made his comeback win. Then we start hearing rumblings about perhaps him and Bud Crawford getting in the ring. Whew, goodness. Both of those two fights just put chills going up and down my spine, especially the Bud Crawford one. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine Tszyu and Bud Crawford? Whew. And Vergil Ortiz. Goodness, that would be a war in itself. Then you start hearing rumors about Lubin and Tszyu being in negotiations. Not bad. That's still a good fight. Don't quite have the zest or the sizzle of Vergil Ortiz, and definitely not of a Bud Crawford. Then we find out, according to Michael Benson, that Lubin was kind of pushed out of the way for one of these two guys. Supposedly, you know, that's what we're thinking, but it turns out it's not for neither one. He was pushed out of the way for one-time Keith Thurman. Now, I will say this. That's not a bad fight if Keith Thurman was active and we seen what he looked like over the last 3 years. That fight might actually make sense if we knew Keith Thurman was the same Keith Thurman from 2015 or 16 or whatever. But the fact that we haven't really seen Keith Thurman that active, and the last time he was active against Mario Barrios, he had a decent outing, but I don't know. And you got him moving up in weight, fighting a bigger guy. That's going to be interesting. But it's not quite what you wanted far as Bud Crawford or Vergil Ortiz, who both would have been moving up from 147. Well, Vergil Ortiz already made his debut at 154 with his last outing, but all three of the guys are all coming from 147 outside. Well, Lubin would have been the fourth guy I mentioned, but he would have been the only opponent that we just brought up that would have been fighting from 154. Now, am I as excited about the Thurman fight as I would be the other ones? No, I am not. But that fight could revive Keith Thurman's career because it wasn't going anywhere at 147. And maybe this is just what Keith Thurman needs to get his career jumping again, because no fights were being made with him, with anybody at 147 for whatever reason. So this will definitely jumpstart his career. And if Tszyu wins, well, that's another champion on your resume, another future Hall of Famer on your resume. And I believe after this fight, we probably still could see a Bud Crawford or a Vergil Ortiz or Lubin anyway. But I don't know. I would have rather seen the Bud Crawford fight. But it appears the one person we're definitely not going to see him fight anytime soon is Jermell Charlo, unfortunately. Now, also on that card is supposed to be Rolly Romero versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And it's rumored to be possibly Tank Davis versus Frank Martin on that night as well, March 30th. That'll be PBC's debut on Amazon. So that's going to be a huge night. And it looks like we're going to get one of those cards that they gave us back in the day when they first started PBC, when they was throwing all the stars on one card and making a fight. You know, like we did when we had Keith Thurman versus Robert Guerrero. That was a big card. Had a bunch of different, you know, names on it. So this is going to be a big night in boxing. PBC's debut. And like I said, we don't know who's going to be headlining it yet. If Tank Davis and Frank Martin is fighting, I believe that will probably be the headline so far out of what I'm hearing between the the 2 fights that they gave, and possibly a Tank Davis fight. I think Tank Davis would trump. I think he would trump Tank Davis and Frank Martin on paper. Just because it's Tank Davis, I believe would trump Tszyu versus Keith Thurman, and definitely would trump Rolly Romero versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And that's pretty much all I got this Head Busting Boxes on Fight Doctor. Hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. You know, are you cool with a Keith Thurman versus Tszyu fight? You know, for it not to be a headliner, I think that's a fabulous fight. For a co-main or something like that, oh, that's great. Do I give Keith Thurman a chance of winning? That's a whole nother story. Now, also, who do you think will wind up headlining that showcase from PBC on his debut on Amazon? Tank Davis and Frank Martin, or Tszyu and Keith Thurman? Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. This Head Busting Boxes on Fight Doctor. I am out.